What happens when you take one of the most ridiculous, over-the-powered supreme beings and put him in something absolutely ridiculous? Join me as we look at Overlord A La Carte and find out, is it worth reading?
That man and his merch.
Hello and welcome to That Man. That is my merchandise, and if you enjoy manga, if you enjoy light novels, if you enjoy anime and merchandise, enjoy everything, get excited and subscribe. And today we'll look at Overlord A La Carte. Now, Overlord is one of those series that I absolutely adore. I love it so much. It tells the story of a person who is reborn into another world as the final boss. Not much other things have kind of done that, and it's quite a dark series. It's quite sinister, and yeah, he's not a nice person, or not nice things happen. But what happens when we take the Supreme Being, his underlings, and put them in a ridiculous comedy scenario? We have this. Now, Overlord has always been quite a serious light novel and quite a serious manga. However, it does have a lot of ridiculous characters, from Shaltia and Albedo fighting over who will be Ainz next lover, to Ainz himself, who's kind of like, yeah, I don't know how I'm in this situation, but everybody adores me for it. So I was a little bit suspicious of whether or not this would be quite good, because I've seen some series where they try and do comedy and it just doesn't work. This one kind of does. Now, this is a spin-off more of the manga, I would say, than the light novel. However, it is created by multiple different creators. It's kind of like a best of collection. And much like the Monster Musume I Heart Monster Girls, it's kind of like, yeah, we see some movers and shakers in the light novel and anime world, manga world as well, as we see some ridiculous scenarios in the Overlord franchise. Now, to have a little bit of a spoiler, this is going to focus a lot on Albedo and Shaltia. Fair enough, those two are two of the main popular characters, and that was one of the things that kind of I didn't like about this book, is that it kind of took the same joke and just went with it again and again and again and again. I have nothing against it because I love them two characters, but if you do get a little bit bored with them two kind of being them two, you're not going to enjoy this. The front cover shows a massive cast of characters, but to be honest, outside of the main group, Pandora's actor and Hamsky, you're not going to get many of the others. In fact, most of the Pleiades, who I was expecting to be really prominent in this, didn't really appear, and that's kind of like, Now, one of the things I do need to point out is that this pretty much covers a lot of the stuff from the first 3 volumes of the light novel, so if you haven't done that, or if you haven't even seen season 1, you will be spoiled. There is stuff, for example, Shaltia trying to repent for what she did when she betrayed the rest of the group, and yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Now, I did enjoy this quite a bit. I had a lot of fun with it. It was ridiculous, it was over the top, and it was just what I needed when I was absolutely exhausted. Some of the series, some of the stories are hilarious, some of them don't work. It's very much a mixed bag, but this is kind of what you're getting into. Some of them I was kind of reading, I was really struggling to kind of understand what was going on. This has always been my problem with some of these series where they're light novels and then they turn into manga, in that the light novel goes so in depth that you can kind of work out what's going on, whereas the manga skips on a lot of stuff and it only gives you a kind of an overview on what's going on, and then the anime expands a little bit on that. But yeah, this was very hit and miss in kind of how it worked. Some of them were great, some of them not so much, and that was my biggest problem with this. While I still enjoyed it, you really already need to love Overlord a huge amount, and you need to love Albedo and Shaltia. If you don't like them characters, you're not going to have a good time with this. This is one of those things that what you kind of need to work out with some of these series, is that this is essentially a fan book. We do see a few fan books here and there. Like I said, we had the Monster Musume one, which I personally enjoyed a little bit more than this. because it kind of worked a little bit better. Whereas this, I don't know, like I said, it kind of felt like they were just doing the same joke over and over again. And like I said, once you get to the Albedo and Shaltier, once you realise that's going to be the joke over and over again, yeah. We do get a lot of fun with Irons Elgorn, however it's still kind of him just reacting to some of the other characters. We don't ever actually have him where he comes up with a ridiculous plan, mucks it all up, but somehow still wins. I suppose he tries to introduce Christmas to the Tomb of Nazarick. That's certainly a thing. And Halloween too. That was a fun one. He's like, we'll do Halloween, and then everyone's just like, this is just our normal day. And then like, but then it was like, but we love you for it. And it's just like, I like that. And a lot of the stories I liked the one where they had Hamsky, where they kind of like, he was like trying to be more important, and he was just like, he ends up just like wearing a skull on his head, or she wears a skull on her head. I forgot Hamsky's a girl. She wears a skull on her head to try and look more manly, because of course. And we have a lot of ones with Pandora's actor, where Pandora's actor is like feeling lonely because Ainz has put him in solitary confinement in the treasure room because he's embarrassed about Pandora's actor. But everybody else really likes Pandora's actor because he was created by Ainz. And it was ridiculous stuff like this that I really enjoyed with the series and kept me wanting to read it. Overall, is Overlord A La Carte worth reading? It's up to you. If you enjoy Albedo and Shaltier, definitely pick it up. If you don't like them much, I would suggest borrowing it. Personally, I enjoyed it. I'm going to pick up more because it's more Overlord. But I kind of like, I read it and I was just like, I kind of would rather be reading the light novel. The light novel works a little bit more on how it's serious and then comedy. Isekai Quartet worked because it was comedy, but it was these weird people in a different situation, whereas this is just kind of like, look how funny this thing is, and it's just kind of like, yeah. It's not overly hilarious, but it's still a lot of fun, and definitely worth checking it out.